The season premiere of Monday Night Raw emanated from Canada, and right now we are going to talk about absolutely everything that happened. Did it feel like a season premiere? Was it good? Was it bad? I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to jump right into our opening match, which was obviously this wasn't the first thing that happened on the show. We had Joe Tessitore as well as Wade Barrett introducing people to the broadcast and everything. But this was the first match right here. It was the Wyatt Six versus American Made, Chad Gable, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile taking on Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and Nikki Cross. This was a really fun match. We had some action between Nikki Cross and Ivy Nile, of course, the female side of each team. There were some crazy moments, including American Made burying Eric Rowan in debris, basically, like pieces of tables, chairs. It was absolutely insane. And then even more insane was when Eric Rowan got up, picked up a piece of the barricade from the timekeepers area, and then started hitting American Made with it. I thought that was insane. This was a really, really, really fun match right here. I really enjoyed this. Probably my favorite part was when Chad Gable had the ankle lock locked in. I think he had it locked in on Joe Gacy, and then Nikki Cross came up and suplexed him. That was awesome. And then eventually Uncle Howdy got tired of waiting and just sitting around. He decided to get in on the action, hit his sister Abigail and Julius Creed, and to allow the Wyatt Six to pick up the victory. This was a really, really fun match. I really enjoyed it. We then moved in to our women's tag team championship match, which was basically a Bash in Berlin rematch. It was Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair defending against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They have pretty good chemistry together, but I do hope that this is the last time that we see them fight, since we saw them fight three times now on SmackDown, on Bash in Berlin, and then here on the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. But it was still a pretty decent match. I like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn as the tag team. I think they're really good. And of course, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were able to pick up the victory with their double team maneuver, which I'm a big fan of. I think that's a really, really cool move that they do. Throughout the show, we had Braun Breaker approaching, of course, the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker approaching people throughout the show, and like, of course, the people who were in the Fatal 4 match, he approached Braun Strowman and called him a big sob, because obviously his shirt says big SOB. He called him a big sob, which was pretty funny. And then he also did a pretty funny impression of Butch. I'm sorry, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne. Where he did that little shrug that he does, say Braun Breaker beat me, and then shrug. That was really really funny. But and then after that, Sheamus came backstage and attacked Pete Dunne. Punches. He picked up the shillelagh that Pete Dunne stole from him. I keep almost saying Butch. I'm sorry. That Pete Dunne stole from him, and then I start hitting him with it. Everything. He almost hit security guards with it. Good, showing some fire for Sheamus right here. Sheamus is absolutely awesome. Like I said before, he's one of my favorites of all time, and I really hope he gets treated right in WWE these days. This was this setup basically features all the Judgment Day stuff we had on this show. So we had Finn Balor coming out, and he was sort of like calling out Damian Priest, telling him like he's nobody's sidekick. After Damian Priest came out, of course, he said that he's nobody's sidekick. He's not a sidekick. He said that Damian Priest made him a sidekick and everything. I think that this storyline makes a lot of sense because of course Damian Priest was the world champion after winning his Money in the Bank cash in. And then, if you remember, both Money in the Bank 2023 and SummerSlam 2023, he was there for Finn Balor's World Heavyweight title matches against Seth Rollins with the briefcase. Speaking of Seth Rollins, I was kind of hoping that he would appear tonight. But anyways, getting away from that, we had Damian Priest challenging Finn Balor at Bash in Berlin, which is going to be awesome. And we also had it confirmed that Rhea Ripley will face Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship at Bash in Berlin. I hope Rhea Ripley wins. But then we had Damian Priest getting beaten down by Carlito, Dominic, JD, and Finn, of course. And then we had Liv and Rhea Ripley fighting a little bit. Rhea Ripley still had the crutch, and then started hitting Dominic Mysterio with the crutch, which was awesome. But she was still dispatched by Liv Morgan. Of course, she had the unfair advantage because Rhea Ripley's knee is hurt. But they start hitting Rhea Ripley with the crutch. They start hitting Damian Priest in the crutch with the crutch. right in the ribs, and then Dominic Mysterio got in several shots, of course, to the ribs, and then Damian Priest trying to protect Rhea Ripley, but still getting more crutch shots. That they were talking a lot about about headshots with the crutch, but I didn't really see any of those. But yeah, this was pretty awesome. Putting the Judgment Day over the Terror Twins right here. I like the new Judgment Day. I've said before. Liv Morgan isn't my favorite wrestler, but I think her character work is still really cool, and she's pretty decent as Women's World Champion, no doubt. And while we're here, we might as well talk about all the Judgment Day matches right here. So we had Dragon Lee going up against Dominic Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio. He's cooking Dominic Mysterio so hard on the microphone. Like a couple weeks ago, he absolutely cooked him, and then this week he absolutely cooked him. Rey Mysterio's promos are getting better. It only took him like 22 years, but Dragon Lee went up against Dominic Mysterio, and of course you had Liv Morgan on ringside, who would play a factor after the Judgment Day came out, caused a distraction for the referee. She would chop block Dragon Lee and would allow Dominic Mysterio to pick up the victory with the 619, adding another victory to Dominic Mysterio's resume. And then another Judgment Day versus LWO match. Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio right here. I love Rey Mysterio's gear in this match. It's like classic WCW kind of attire, but just a different color scheme, black, orange, and white. Looks pretty fresh, so I think that would be a pretty cool figure. But Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio, a match we've seen before, but it never gets old. They have good chemistry, they have good matches. And then Finn Balor was showing a new side of him in this match. He started like tugging on Rey Mysterio's knee in the ropes just like this until the referee called a disqualification, and then he continued to beat down on Rey Mysterio afterwards. He had a drop kick into the post, and then he just walked off. He attacked Rey Mysterio. That was quite the scene right here. Of course, this Monday Night Raw was in Canada, and what wrestler do you think of when you think of Canada? You gotta think of Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He was introduced by Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, and he said a couple things, and then here comes Gunther, he was sort of disrespecting Bret Hart on the microphone. He was like, "You were one of my childhood favorites, and I'll admit you're the best there was." But I'm the best that there is and the best there ever will be. And he even said, he even said that his favorite wrestler was Bill Goldberg. Now, at first I was like, what? But then I realized that Bret Hart has a lot of animosity towards Bill Goldberg because of a career-ending kick to the face in WCW. Goldberg kicked him in the face for real, and Bret wrestled a little bit after that, but that was during a time where concussions weren't taken as seriously, so he ended up having to retire. But so he holds a lot of animosity towards Bill Goldberg for that. But I thought that was really, really funny for Gunther to mention that. But then here comes Sami Zayn saying you disrespected Bret Hart. How dare you talk to this man like that? And then for the second week in a row, he challenges him to a match for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin. And once again, for the second week in a row, Gunther says no. But Bret Hart called him a coward, and then Sami Zayn started attacking him afterwards, sending him into the post, punches. And I also wanna point out that Sami Zayn was wearing a jersey of one of the baseball players who sadly passed away recently. Rest in peace to him, as well as his brother. They were riding bicycles, and then they both got hit by a jeep with the driver who is now facing charges. Joe Tessitore said, but that was really really cool of Sami Zayn to wear that jersey. Mad respect to him for that. We then moved in. I'm sorry if not everything is in order, but obviously it ended like 10 hours ago. When I'm filming this, maybe obviously more than 10 hours. I'm not filming this at 5 in the morning. What am I talking about? But we had Drew McIntyre coming out, of course, talking some smack about CM Punk, saying that when you chant CM Punk, it is now in memory of. So he even chanted CM Punk a little bit. I found that really really funny. There were some really funny moments. Well, in terms of promos on this Monday Night Raw, I really enjoyed the promos. But Drew McIntyre, of course, saying how he attacked CM Punk, how he ended CM Punk's career. Of course, referencing last week when he attacked him, ripped up the bracelet and put it in his mouth, and as he was choking on the beads, he delivered a claymore. I don't know why that's funny, but Drew McIntyre, of course, and then Adam Pearce comes out says, oh wait, oh before that, well, Drew McIntyre was actually staring down Wade Barrett at the announce table, saying the next time you get between me and CM Punk, I will not be so nice. He's basically referencing like maybe he'd Claymore Wade Barrett or something. But then here comes Adam Pearce, and he says that he spoke to CM Punk earlier in the day and said that he wants a match against Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, to which Drew McIntyre accepts. I'm so excited for this match. We haven't seen a Hell in a Cell match since Edge versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania 39. Edge isn't even in WWE anymore. It's felt like so long. We're finally seeing another Hell in a Cell match. I'm so excited for it. This has been my favorite rivalry of the year, probably my favorite rivalry of the decade. So I'm very, very excited for the Hell in a Cell match. Who wins? I'll be mentioning that in my Bad Blood prediction video, which won't be coming for a while because it's in October. But anyways, we now move on to our main event of the evening. Jey Uso, Yeet, Ilya Dragunov, Braun Strowman, and Pete Dunne. This match was really, really enjoyable right here. Obviously, this was number one contendership for Braun Breaker's Intercontinental Championship. And it was some pretty hard-hitting action. They had me thinking that Pete Dunne was going to win because he tossed Jey Uso out of the ring that was pinning Ilya Dragunov, but he didn't win. That was like a false finish, I guess. And then another crazy moment that happened in this match. Braun Strowman was standing right about where Drew McIntyre is standing right now, clutching his ribs and everything, because obviously Bronson Reed is the one who hurt his ribs and everything. And then here comes Bronson Reed with a big tsunami, like it was like a cross body tsunami through the announce table, landed right on Braun Strowman, put him through the announce table. So I guess they're going to be continuing that feud, which I think will be really cool. I do like Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. I think their match was pretty good, and I also think they could give their matches a little more time because the last one was short. But we now moved on to basically a triple threat match right here. Jey Uso, Ilya Dragunov, and then Pete Dunne, and obviously Jey Uso was able to pick up the victory. Main event Jey Uso. He will be challenging Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm very excited about. I love Jey Uso. Will he win the Intercontinental Championship? I don't personally think so. It's regretfully that I say that I don't personally think so. I don't know. Like, this is Braun Breaker's first challenger if you don't count that Iron Man match that he had with Sami Zayn. But I don't think Jey Uso is going to win this. I think he's got to move on to the Bloodline story. He's got a team with Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns to take on Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Solo Sikoa. Please, please, WWE, make it happen at Survivor Series. But yes, this has been not the Survivor Series, the Raw season premiere. Oh wait, no, I forgot about something. I forgot about something. So we had the Pure Fusion Collective, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville. They were about to have a tag team match against Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and a partner of their choosing. And they ended up going with Natalia right here, who was, of course, the hometown hero of the city they were in right here in Canada. But I was expecting a little more from this. And I know that there was but there's a few people out there that were possibly expecting Charlotte Flair maybe, because there's been rumors circulating that she could come back soon. But I wasn't entirely expecting that. I'm not sure really who I was expecting, but I wasn't really expecting Natalia. It was kind of a lame reveal, but at least like give her the hometown moment. I guess that's pretty cool. But yes, this has been the Raw season premiere in a nutshell. Stay tuned for the SmackDown season premiere. I'm very excited for the SmackDown season premiere. It's gonna have Kevin Owens and a mystery partner. It's gonna have Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes. I cannot wait to talk about that. Maybe we'll see Roman Reigns on the SmackDown season premiere. But yes, this has been the Raw season premiere. I hope you enjoyed. This was a pretty good show, no doubt. It didn't entirely feel like a season premiere in my opinion, but it was still a good episode of Raw, and it definitely had its moments. It just didn't feel like special or anything. It just didn't feel all that special to me. But it was still a pretty good Raw. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10 right here for the Raw season premiere. This has been Jed Wrestling, out.